Hey folks, and welcome back. With the recent release of the Streamline TURBULENCE, I wanted to give you guys my first impressions of this very unique fairway driver. Let's get to it. Let's ignore the Turbulence's most notable characteristic for just a moment and start with the profile and the grip. First, the Turbulence has an incredibly thin profile and a very flat flight plate. In fact, looking at my backhand grip, you can see that because it's so flat, it does not fill my backhand grip at all. But since it is so shallow and has that flat flight plate, it feels incredible for my forehand grip. Now for the elephant in the room, the defining feature of the Turbulence is that concave flight plate, basically giving the Turbulence a very noticeable thumb track. Generally, I do like thumb tracks, especially on slower speed discs because of the thumb placement. With the Turbulence, I was surprised at actually how comfortable it felt, as it actually helped prevent my thumb, both backhand and forehand, from slipping off the disc. So if it's wet or really moist out, well, this thumb track is going to give me a lot of confidence with throwing, because that thumb track is going to keep my thumb in place and not slipping off the disc. Not to mention that overall I was in a very comfortable spot, not too close to the center of the flight plate and not too close to the edge of the nose. My initial thoughts on the flight is this thing is beefy. If you want something that is going to hold around a corner, it's going to get to the ground quickly, that is exactly what the Turbulence is going to do. Even on forehand, when I'm throwing it on almost a machete chop style throw, you can see it wants to level out almost immediately before having a really overstable finish. But that also means it gets on edge very quickly, so you can get these nice, big, massive flaring skips. Because it has so little glide and is so overstable, it practically goes nowhere. In fact, I can even throw my putters a little bit further than this. But sometimes when the wind is up, you need that putter distance, but a disc that is going to cut through the air a lot better, whereas putters or mids might get held up. So for utility purposes, the Turbulence is going to be very good. As you're seeing here, it makes a good forehand rolling disc, but where I was really surprised at is how good of a thumber or tomahawk disc this is. There is quite a bit of a left to right movement in the early part of the throw, however it has that really nice slow roll before it finally flips over and then comes back, allowing you to get a lot of good distance with those thumber shots. If you're looking for an everyday use fairway driver, then do not look at the Turbulence. In my humble opinion, I feel it was designed for utility in mind. It's incredibly overstable, it has absolutely no glide, and not to mention it has that unique flight plate. But even still, for those couple of rare shots that pop up a few times during the course of the year, you're going to be so happy that you have the Turbulence. Now, does it feel like it's a gimmicky, meme-fueled disc? Yes, absolutely. But it is still usable in those certain situations. So it's something where if you're wanting that utility style of disc that is very overstable, very dependable, and honestly just super fun to throw on lines like this, then you really need to give the Turbulence a try. It might just surprise you. Until the next time, everyone, keep banging them chains.